First of all, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not giving any real true medical advice. That's a little bit of a disclaimer I have to start with. Firstly, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my history. Here we go. I was born into a farming family. At the age of 15, I started work for my dad, and as you know, on a family farm, it's pretty hard work. By the time I was 26, I was married, 3 beautiful young girls. I was actually working pretty hard, growing 3,000 tons of wheat and had 5,000 head of cattle. So I'm actually a very hard worker, but my body is paying the price. Now, I'll just give you a little bit of my body history. At the age of 14, I dislocated my hip playing football, numerous amounts of concussion, hospital, all that sort of stuff. When I was 17, I went to a carnival, an amusement ride, and I was on, it was an American machine, I think one of those hurricane amusement rides that went up in the air like an octopus, and that cart came off, went flying over the alley, through a tree, hit a car, smashed the caravan up. I was one of the lucky ones. I only broke my neck and a few bones in my body and a few ribs. My 3 friends weren't so lucky. So that was the start of my pain for the rest of my life, because as you know, once you go through something like that, your body never heals. During my farming life in my mid-30s, because I grew a lot of wheat, I was exposed to a lot of chemical, and unfortunately I got chemical poisoning. I spent 3 months in hospital with chemical poisoning, which gave me the shakes. I was in critical care, and once I got out of hospital, I found it very hard to run the farm. So unfortunately I had to sell the farm and retire at 34 years old, which I didn't want to retire because I was a very active sort of person. My kids think I've got 9 lives, but they don't know half the stuff I've got away with in my life. So I'm very fortunate to be able to stand here on my 2 feet, because I was bedridden for over 6 months with chronic pain. Now, about 3-4 years ago, I was on a business trip to Thailand, and I came across this wonderful thing called PEMF machine, which changed my life. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show most people have had a bit of a look at the machine outside. I'm going to run a short video here of a real doctor explaining what it actually does.
Hello my friends, and welcome to this video about pulsed electromagnetic fields, also known as PEMF. If you are someone who's dealing with any type of health condition, especially one that involves pain, this video is going to be for you. Now I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about PEMF, something I think you should be aware of for 2 reasons. First, because it's likely to relate to what you're experiencing, not so much the cause of it. Second, the possibility that it can help you recover or improve your condition if you use it correctly. Now before we dive into the topic, let's start with some basics. Every life form that was born on this planet and came into existence on planet Earth was immediately exposed to Earth's magnetic field. That's why the magnetic compass works when you're on Earth. All of the cells, tissues, and organs in your body have a myriad of functions that rely on tiny electrical charges in order for them to carry out their critical functions. Now, these electric charges need to be in motion, generating small electromagnetic fields. Think of an electrical generator that works by spinning wire coils with a magnetic field. This generates tiny electric charges that manifest and form a flow of electricity. Your body works in a similar way. For example, your heart is an organ that works by electrical currents that contract the various chambers in the proper sequence so that they can pump blood. Now, if we took the heart out of your body, it could still work because of those electric signals. Your nerves also work by a flow of tiny charges, and even tasks that generate what's called an action potential that eventually gets to the target tissue. Muscle contraction requires the tiny flow of of charged particles such as sodium, potassium, and calcium in order to work. And your immune system also relies on tiny electrical charges. Numerous processes occur when your body fights an invasive microorganism. You've got the mobilization of cells, lymphocytes, monocytes. They communicate with each other via chemical signals that involve these tiny little charges. Wound healing also involves a number of these things that happen. Inflammation occurs, which involve the appearance and assembly of various factors that are involved in blood clotting and tissue repair. Cells migrate to the area of injury. Monocytes phagocytose debris, and fibroblasts secrete collagen. All of these processes require the movement of tiny electrical charges for them to occur. Now we're living in a modern world, and we've got electronics all around us: laptops, cell phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and so forth. Now, I'm not saying to be scared of this or that it causes things like cancer or disease, but doesn't it make sense that if you have tiny electrical charges in your body that your body systems rely on to work properly, the tiny magnetic fields that are produced and mimic the external electromagnetic fields that passes through your body can influence these processes? That's where PEMF comes in. Pulsed electromagnetic frequency, or PEMF, is the purposeful generation of electromagnetic fields, and there's a lot of research that has been done that shows the efficacy and effectiveness of using PEMF on a variety of health conditions. You don't have to take my word for it. Go to Google and search for PubMed. This is the website open to the public.
All right. Now, he was a real doctor explaining exactly how it works. Now, after traveling to Thailand and using the PEMF machine, I honestly, because my neck had, I had surgery on my neck after like 55 years of putting up with a lot of arthritis, pain in my neck. I felt like Lurch. I used to move like this, and it was very difficult to work without pain. And even I couldn't be in a room with air conditioning because I had no circulation in my neck. Now, when I was came over here to work, I came across a PEMF machine, and what happened is my friend said, "Here, have a go at this machine," which I did, and honest to God, it was like someone putting a can of WD-40 straight in my neck, and I thought, holy hell, it worked straight away. I thought, this is just, if it didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have believed it. And then I've never met George's friend. I didn't even know that he has used the machine until this morning. And they're the sort of things I like to hear, and that's why I went home from Thailand, and I actually bought a PEMF machine here. I was so impressed. I took it back to Australia, and a very good friend of mine, Barry, at the age of 17, he put in a MRI machine in the Royal Sydney Hospital at the age of 17. He's a very talented guy. He was doing his electronics apprenticeship at that stage, and I took my machine to him. I said, "Mate, these are too expensive for the normal person. I want to be able to build these machines bigger and better." And he looked at it and said, "Mate, I don't like this machine. This is wrong. What's wrong with it? That's what's wrong with it." And I said, "Okay, can you build me a machine that I can..." Basically, I had no intention of selling it to the public. All I wanted to do was give them to my family because it was such an incredible machine. And so that's what I did. So it took 6 months for Barry to put together. And because Barry has been building medical equipment for the last 3 decades, and how I knew Barry, because I used to work for the fellow, he used to supply medical equipment too. And he sold ionizers, which most people know what ionizers are. I have actually 2 ionizers at the front of this machine, which as soon as you turn the machine on, it will purify your whole room, and it puts out negative ions, about 18,000 negative ions in a per cubic meter per minute. So especially living in Thailand with the pollution here, what happens is the negative ions come out of the machine, and because they're negative, the dirt and the pollens, the dust in the air, a positive charge, it will hook onto them and it will drop them to the ground. Ren was telling me he's got a purifier in his room that he leaves going 24/7. He knows that the gauge on the purifier wasn't. He said it hardly turns on now because the ionizer machine takes all the pollutions out of the air. So that's just another added advantage I've got with one of these machines, except besides the pulsing that fixes your other side of your health. Okay, what is PEMF therapy? Let's break it down. Basically, as soon as you start the machine, there's 16 different programs on the machine, and each program has a different frequency. Now, the FDA have approved a lot of different frequencies to fix certain ailments that you might have. Now, basically, we've got 98% water in our bodies. So what happens is, that's why everyone was having offered an electrolyte, because the salt, electrolytes in the water go straight into your bloodstream, and the pulse, the electromagnetic field, magnifies in your body and fixes your cells on a cellular basis. Now, they call them a magic, or my grandson calls them a magic machine. He's got ADHD. My daughter has been using them, testing them out for the last year and a half in Sydney, Australia, and it certainly has calmed his nerves down. He used to drive his mother crazy. Now he's a pretty normal little boy. Now, PEMF therapy, I don't know. I've had some people outside saying, where do I put it? On my back, on my head, wherever. For some reason, if you put it on the back of your neck, that's where the central nervous system of your body is, and for some reason it will go to whatever ailment is hurting the most, because what happens is when you have an injury, you get pain. Now, for some reason, your brain will send blood to that area, and that's how it fixes. It'll go to your major problem in your body. So it doesn't matter if you've got a cut in your little finger, it will send the pulse and the oxygen to your little finger or your knee, your sciatic nerve, your broken ankle, wherever it goes. I don't know how all that works, but it just does work. Small thing, in Australia, because these have been approved, especially the FDA in America, for depression. We have a lot of soldiers come back from the war. They suffer a lot of PTSD. Now, there's frequencies in this machine that will help you with anxiety, drugs, all that sort of stuff. This fellow here runs a charity down the Gold Coast and helps the homeless people. So they're very good as far as I've donated this machine to these people, and they have all the homeless people in their clinics lined up ready to try it, which makes me feel good too. Pulsing magnetic field. It's obviously generated by an electric current flowing through one or two more coils of copper or aluminium. Now, this coil here, it's pure copper, 1.3 kilos of copper wire, and it's matched to the voltage on each program to give you maximum effect. Now, with PEMF machines, there's high intensity machines and there's low intensity machines. You're wasting, be honestly, if you go on Mr. Google, a lot of them will tell you it's a waste of time buying low intensity machines. I'm not saying they don't work, most of them all work. They're all brilliant. But a high intensity machine, you only need a fraction of the time spent on them. So if you've got all day to use them with low intensity machines, but if you're going to invest in one, you're better off to buy something that's going to actually work. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. A guy who had a stroke, 64 years old, he was 2 years before he found the PEMF machine, used it, and immediately he slowed his shaking down, which is incredible, and he said he's used everything else and nothing worked. This is actually my daughter.
Right, so it's off,
in Sydney,
not moving
the
on.
magnetic field going through her body.
Off. Right down.
She's lying on her back, putting the magnet. because it goes straight through your body, that's a good indication. So it doesn't matter where you put on your body. The low intensity machines will not go through your body. The high intensity machines obviously will. All right, see enough of that one. Life is energy. Everybody is a battery. Our Earth's a battery. We are a battery. You go to bed at night time to sleep, to restore, to charge your batteries up. This PEMF machine does it on a magnetic field, charges your battery up. Obviously you can see there that a sick person is obviously got the positive charges are right down. When you use the PEMF machines, the negative charge will charge your body up. We can heal just about anything there is to heal with this machine. Now, as soon as you put it on, the immediate effects you get increases the oxygen level. And this machine is actually got two ways of doing it, through the coil and also through the ionizer. There's a lot of wellness centers in America. There's a very interesting guy, Dr. Pewitt, who has written this book here. Now, he used to have 150 surgeries on the east coast of America. He sold everything up and he's now got 15 wellness centers, and all he does is has PEMF machines in them because he feels that this is a way to treat people. Doctors, all they want to do is get you back, keep taking your money off you. If I had all the money I spent on chiropractors in my life, I'd be a very rich man. But I haven't been to see a chiropractor since I've been introduced to the PEMF machine. Okay. What else does it do? It just about does everything. Detoxification, and that's why you have to drink the electrolytes to flush it out of your body, because it will free up the toxins in your body, and it can get stuck in your brain, in your kidneys. Hopefully you can urinate it out. But I've got a video later on that I'll show you about the dangers of PEMF. They are 100% safe as long as you use them properly.
Andrew, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, I'm reaching out for two reasons. One is to thank you. If you recall, about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I tore my rotator cuffs, and I was in such pain in my spine as well with spinal stenosis that I could barely stand it. You came to my house and sold me that PEMF machine, and I used it. I got to tell you, it took me from 9 pain down to about 5 or 6 the very first day. But as I kept using it over the months, it took me down to 1s to 3s, and then a few times 4 or 5. And I went down and stem cells twice in a row, cord stem cells in Panama. And the doctors all told me I'd have surgery, and I don't have any surgery. And my arm is perfect. I can do anything I want to do with it. I play racket sports all the time, and no problems whatsoever. So, thank you.
Most people know Tony Robbins. Tony is got great credibility. He says it works, and it really does. He wouldn't put his name to a PEMF machine if it wasn't going to work. Now, there's been a lot of studies done about PEMF, mainly through NASA. They've done all sorts of trials, mainly with different frequencies, treating different ailments. They've just approved a new frequency, which is 75 hertz, which rebuilds cartilage rebuild. If you break your bone, any part of your bone, what happens, it will rebuild the cartilage in your bone, whatever you've broken. It's amazing. Now, that's the two main frequencies in this machine, except for the the low frequencies, which is for Alzheimer's, depression. They're 1 or 2 hertz. Once program 5, which is a main frequency we use on this machine, which is 10 hertz, that's mainly for the nervous system. Now, your whole body is a nervous system, so that is the main frequency we use. And then for specific things like the collagen cartilage rebuild is program 11 at 75 hertz. Now, as you can see up there, NASA did a 4-year study in the PEMF machines. They increased the stem cells by 400%. Now, that's quite amazing. 400%. People are having stem cell injections. They're putting chemicals, whatever. We don't know what's in the stem cells they're injecting into you. This treatment will do the same thing, only it's 100% natural. Now, that's a little bit that's what's inside the machine. There is a microprocessor in it. I decided after seeing what was in the one I bought wasn't up to standard, so I got my friend Barry, as I said before, who's had 3 decades of industry background building medical machines. He made this machine for me and added the ionizer to it. The ionizer is TGA approved in Australia, and we're in the process of getting it approved TGA in Australia, which is a very high standard. So, and then I decided, well, look, I've sold them a few very good friends, and they all got great results. They're all ringing me up saying, hey, this has fixed this, and it just went on and on. And that's why I decided I'm coming to Thailand to retire, and I might start manufacturing them over here. It'll be the next step. Okay, as most of you saw outside how to use the PEMF, what I'll do is I'll just turn it on for those people who didn't see it outside. The machine's actually, as soon as you turn it on, you turn on the side and a P will come up, which is program. Now it's got 16 different programs on it. It starts off with program 1. There's a program button here which you push, and we're going to go up to program 5, which is the most common one, 10 Hertz. Now as soon as that we go to program 5 and we push the start button, it'll automatically start on 10 minutes. Now if your body is very sensitive to electromagnetic field, you can decrease it down to 2 minutes and start off at 2 minutes, so your body gets used to it, which is highly recommended. 10 minutes is a fairly normal time. This machine, we can take it up to 30 minutes at a time, but that's only once your body gets accustomed to the frequencies. You can't just go and start off in 30 minutes. You've got to be sensible about this machine's not a toy. It's and I won't say it's a medical machine. As I said, my grandkids call it a magic machine, grandpa's magic machine. So, oh yeah, you can use it for 2 hours, and depending what you have it, what's wrong with you too. Yeah. Now, you'll notice that there's some red stickers coming off that. There's a red side and a blue side. Like any, when you go to charge a battery up, you have a positive and negative. Your body's the same, right? So you always have the positive side facing away from your body, because there's this magnetic field. There's that's the magnet will jump around, and always the red side will go out. If I turn that around the other side, the blue side will face out. So it's just a good way of checking, obviously it's working, and you've got it around the right way. Yes. Oh, okay. So, and, sorry? It's not that good. So, I wish it was. Now, you're getting the ionized air out at the same time. Now, I'm just going to do, there's actually, I think I've got a little trick in my other pocket. The magnets everywhere. Just an electrical screwdriver that you test. Now, obviously green light comes on. There's actually 2,200 volts coming out of each needle. Now, not dangerous. You can touch them. There's no amps, right? So what happens when the air blows over those needles, it's a bit like being out in a thunderstorm. The air gets very fine, then the air smells sweet, and it feels really great in your lungs. That's the negative ions in your lungs coming from just the air. So I originally had one in there, and I had little fans that turned them up and down, and I thought that's silly, so I put two in, and I've got there's a computer fan, which is the only moving part in the machine, which blows across the needles and will treat your room at the same time. Most clinics that actually treat people, what they do is they have an oxygen machines in their clinics, and when you do a PEMF, they charge you extra and put you on the oxygen, which just you get more results out of the PEMF machine then. And that's why they do it. And I thought, well, why don't I just put the ionizer in the machine and have it run both ways? Okay. As I said, there's 16 different programs. Now, each program has a different frequency that heals different parts of your body. As I said, number 5 is mild scratchal pain, which is your nervous system. Now, without your nervous system, your whole body fails. Number 11 is a cartilage rebuild, because at our age, we've got knees, we've got all sorts of dramas, people can't walk, and stroke, Parkinson's disease and ADHD is, when you really get into it, it's a part of your left and your right part of the brain can't decide which way to go at the same time, and they get confused, and that's why people get the shakes. ADHD people, a bit the same. My grandson drives my daughter up the wall because he's just so active all the time, and it just calms you down completely. Incredible. Chronic fatigue, long COVID, but probably most of us have got osteoporosis or arthritis, as we say. Now, because of my history, broken backs, bad, and being a farmer, lifting heavy weights all my life, I had critical pain. I've had many cortisone injections in my hips, the backs, everything, and they would only last, a month or two, and I'd have to go and have more injections, and all that, how much that cost through a lifetime. People in America now are buying these machines mainly because of maintenance, not because they've got a sciatic nerve problem. They want to prevent health issues actually happening. But I could go on all day, but we'll have a question time at the end. Okay, who can't use them? Obviously, we don't really know. Pregnant women, there's been no side effects, there's been no problems, but I would not take the risk, and doctors won't take the risk, so it's best to not, if you're pregnant, please don't use it. Pacemakers. Now, they could cause a problem because they've got batteries in them. The old pacemakers, I've been told, the magnetic field will affect the pacemaker. Now, most pacemakers only last 10 years, and apparently the pacemakers for the last 10 years are compatible with PEMF machines. So you'd really want to consult your doctor about that one, or your specialist. And it's like everything I always say, in certain medical issues, like always, you must check with your doctor. Okay, this is this going back beginning of this year. I was asked to bring my machine to a wellness centre. Now, at the wellness centre, Libby, who's sitting down there with the microscope, she's a naturopath. Anyway, what was happening, we were testing people's blood. Now, your blood is your lifeline of your body. Now, as you can see, on these are shots before the PEMF treatment. As you can see, they're all your cells. Now, those cells are unhealthy. Now, we had about 25 people a day over a weekend workshop come and get their blood tested, and that was the results to start with. Now, what Libby was doing is taking people's blood tests, and she had a TV there, a screen, the monitor, and that's what the dirty blood looks like. It's basically like black oil out of a car. The next screen, bang, 15 minutes later, after PEMF treatment, that's what their cells look like. And these people just go, wow, can't believe it. And they told me all sorts of stories. They've been everywhere, done everything, and nothing like this has ever cleaned their blood up so quickly. Now, before and after shots, normal distribution of Ka and Na ions balance. That's normal, the top one on top left hand, and the abnormal one in the middle, that's like your dirty blood. Then after 10-15 minutes, back to normal on the right hand side. That's how your blood should look like. That's a healthy cell. My grandson, he's the one with ADAH. Mate, lovable kid, but he drives me nuts. Now, the nervous system, when you've got ADHD, you're very active, and I think they got it all from me, to be honest. He used to drive his mother up the wall, and now he sleeps like a baby. And you'll notice the pet dog. Now, it's incredible. Animals know what's healthy and what's not. An animal will come when you're treating yourself. If you've got a pet, a dog or anything, they'll come and put their head on your knee because they want to share the treatment with you. It will take a lot of vets use PEMF treatment to treat arthritis, horses, dogs, everything. We're all built the same. If it's your blood or your animal's blood, and some people just buy these machines to treat their pets because they love their pets more than themselves, probably. I don't know. Cells, healthy cells. Only some cells get nutrients, and what happens is as soon as you start treating yourself with the PEMF machine, your whole blood changes from unhealthy to healthy cells, right? Now, people ask me, can it cure cancer? Can it cure this? Can it cure anything? The machine doesn't cure anything. Your own body immune system cures whatever ailment you've got. Now, it will assist in healing you. Now, as far as cancer cells go, what they say is the frequency that we've got it on, cancer cells are very hard on the outside, and your immune system can't penetrate into the cell to get rid of the cancer cell. Now, what happens with a PEMF cell, it will break down the outside hard core of the cell. That's why they always say it works on a cellular basis. Now, I've read several research articles. The Cancer Association actually recommends PEMF treatment with cancer treatment because it really does increase the recovery rate. Whether it completely kills or not, the jury's still out. I've left some flyers on the table there. Now, there's basically nothing the PEMF machine can't help you with except your love. Although that can help with love life. There's too many ladies here, so I won't ask anyone to put their hands up who's got ED problems, but it certainly helps your blood flow, and that obviously helps everything else, if you get what I mean. Now, I could talk all day long about circulation, range of motion, swiftness, pain, you name it, the PEMF machine will help.